We're gonna start in a standing upright position to begin with. I'd like us to start with just a basic roll down, so a bit of a mobility exercise to prepare us for movement. Just bringing your arms down by your sides. You might want to close your eyes just to connect your feet to the floor, pressing through the big and second toe into the ground. Imagine like a thread running through the crown of your head, pulling up towards the ceiling, so we feel the spinal elongation to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, nod your head down, and just imagine that you are peeling your spine away from the wall behind you. So try to make your head nice and heavy, relaxing your arms, and then just soften through your knees so there's no locking through the joints. Go as low as you feel comfortable. At the bottom of your range, just hold it for a moment. You might want to nod your head a couple of times, shake your head no a couple of times. And now as you draw your abdominals in, you're gonna reverse your roll down. You're gonna start rolling up, vertebra by vertebra, bone by bone, with your head coming up last. Lovely. Just feeling the movement, restocking your head on the top of your spine. We're gonna do this movement just one more time. Take a deep breath in, nod your head, and again, imagine peeling your spine vertebra by vertebra, as if you were peeling your spine away from the wall behind you. Arms become heavy, the gravity is pulling on your upper body. And again, at the bottom of your range, see if you can go maybe a little bit lower. Shift your body weight towards your toes, and you'll feel the back of your legs opening as well. Again, nod your head a couple of times, shake your head no a couple of times. And then as you press through your heels, draw your abdominals in, and then restock your spine, keeping your knees soft. So transition between the lower and upper body protects your lower back. And we go all the way up. Lovely. My ladies, grab yourself a towel. We're gonna come to a position where you're gonna lie on your back. So lying supine, just like that. Yes, thank you very much. That's perfect. I will see your posture much better. So you want to start by bending your knees, keeping your feet aligned with your knees, so heels directly underneath your knees, towel right underneath your head, arms down by your sides. And we start with a little bit of mindfulness and a bit of a connection, trying to elongate through the back of your neck, opening your shoulders away from your ears to feel the stretch across your collarbones. Trying to soften the ribcage down into the mat. And then paying attention to neutral lower back. So if you place your hands on the top of your pelvis, you will feel the heels of your palms resting on your hip bones, with your fingertips pointing towards your pubic bone. And you want to feel that both hip bones and your pubic bone are leveled. And then as you press your arms down by your sides, connect to your feet, pressing through your big and second toe. So we are maintaining tiny little pocket, open pocket underneath our lower back. My ladies, you're gonna start with a very gentle movement, pelvic tilt. So each time you exhale, just gently press your lower back into the mat. Keep it gentle. You don't want to squash it, it's soft movement. And then tilt your pelvis back to neutral when your hip bones and pubic bone are leveled. And again, tiny little pressure through the lower spine, and then back. Natalie, bring your feet just a tiny bit closer towards one another and bring your knees a little bit wider, so parallel position. That's it, there you go, thank you. Awesome. And we're gonna progress this movement to a full pelvic curl. This time, as you round your lower back, see if you can scoop a little bit deeper. Imagine curling your pubic bone towards your nose. Press through your arms and your heels. Start lifting your bottom. See if you can round your lower back a little bit more. So we are lifting vertebra by vertebra, lifting your hips above the rib cage. Hold it here. Double check whether you still have this softness through the back of your ribs and your hips are slightly higher than your rib cage. Now see if you can round your lower back a little bit more. Imagine squeezing yoga block between your inner thighs to keep them active. You should feel like a proper stretch to the front of your thighs. Take a deep breath in and we're gonna release the spine back towards the floor, sequencing it down towards the ground. It's almost like you want to imprint vertebra by vertebra into a wet sand underneath you, leaving the imprint, and then unravel your pelvis back to neutral to level your hips and your pubic bone. We go there again. Inhale. And as we exhale, we create this little scoop. So create a tilt and then progress, rounding through the lower back, thinking of lifting your waistline, then your middle back, and then a little bit of your upper back. Again, you want to come to the point when your hips are slightly higher than the rib cage. See if you can round your lower back even more. Think pubic bone to nose. Imagine squeezing yoga block between your inner thighs. Hold it here. To activate your hamstrings a little bit more, without physically moving your feet, imagine dragging your heels towards your bottom, towards yourself. You should feel your glutes and hamstrings more. Inhale that. And then as we exhale, we're gonna start releasing the rib cage from the top. Ribs become heavy. We're going back towards the gravity, bone by bone. Imprinting each vertebra at the time, massaging, stretching your back against the surface. Unravel your pelvis back to neutral. My ladies, we're gonna do this one more time, rounding through the lower back. Now we know what we're doing. So trying to add a little bit more awareness. As we create this scoop, we try to keep the curl through the movement. Rounding through the lower back, stretching the lumbar spine, but also the front of your thighs. Once you reach the top of your pelvic curl, hold it here. Take your arms off the floor, reach them above your shoulder height level, and then reach them over your head. Imagine you want to reach your arms away from your knees, as if I was standing behind you, pulling your wrists. See if you can round your lower back a little bit more. Now give me that feeling of dragging your heels towards your bottom to feel your glutes and hamstrings. Lovely, hold it. Take a deep breath in, and as you keep your arms away from your knees, release your spine vertebra by vertebra, bone by bone. Keeping your sequence, trying not to rush this movement so you can imprint your lower back and then unravel your pelvis back to neutral position. We're gonna move your arms out to T position. If you don't have enough space, you can bend your elbows and hold cactus arms. Take your right ankle across your left knee to create figure four position. And then as you twist through your waistline, you're gonna release both legs to one side, creating a spine twist decompression for your back. Go as far towards the floor as you can, and then come back to the center. Don't change your legs, just fold them to the other side. You want to create a stretch through your hips, through your glutes and the mid-back. Lovely. And then slowly take your legs back to the center. We're gonna do this one more time on each side. So fold your legs, creating a twist. Arms are very active. Press your arms towards the floor. It will anchor your upper back a bit more. And then back to the center. And then fold your legs to the other side. And then back to the center. We're gonna swap legs, creating the stretch on the other side. So left ankle across your right knee. And again, twisting to one side, doesn't matter which one, as we do both. Allowing your glutes to stretch, mid-back, lower back, open up. And just observing which side of your body feels tighter. There's no judgment here. We just want to recognize where our body might need a bit of a release. And let's do this one more time on each side. So twisting, decompressing. Very good twist and stretch to do first thing in the morning. Good. Let's do this last one. And return back to the center. Let's work our lower abdominals a little bit more. So as you keep your arms open, lift your right leg up to tabletop position. Push your lower back a little bit more towards the ground. And then start lifting your opposite left leg up to create tabletop position. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Lovely. Now take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Bring your elbows slightly higher to your peripheral vision. And then as we exhale, we're gonna start lifting upper body off the floor. Try not to pull against your neck. If you can relax your head in your hands, that would be great. Coming just to the shoulder blade height. And we slowly release it back down. Let's carry on. Legs are floating. As we come up to chest lift position, pay attention to your lower back. You don't want to flatten it. You want to keep the slight curve in your lumbar spine. And we release it back down. And we go again 3 more times. Head is heavy. Try to relax your head in your hands. Use your abs to lift. And we go back in. Let's go for 2 more of those. Chest lift up. And then back down. My ladies, one more like this. Chest lift up. We're gonna hold it. Holding your chest lifted position. Hinge from your right hip and release your right leg down to tap the floor. Reach with your toes towards the ground. That's it. And reach back to tabletop. Opposite leg goes down. Leg changes. And then back. Watch your lower back. You don't want to change the lower back position. So anchoring our lumbar spine. So with each release, make sure that the lower back stays connected slightly towards the ground. Let's go for 1 more on each side. Warming our hip flexors one by one. Beautiful. Give me 1 more. Good. And this time, as you lower your legs down, you're gonna release both feet, keeping your chest lifted position, and release your upper body all the way down towards the ground. Open your arms out to T position again. Press your arms towards the floor for stability, lifting your right leg up to tabletop position. Left leg follows, squeezing your inner thighs together. As you keep your inner thighs together, we're gonna create a twist. So reach with both legs to one side, allowing your hip to come off the floor, but the shoulder blade on the side needs to stay grounded. Now use your waistline to pull your legs back to the center and then go to the other side. So you want to create a rolling like motion. You want to allow your hip to come off the mat, but both shoulders need to stay grounded. Use your arms, push them towards the floor. So we use upper girdle to create stability. Lovely, we've got 2 more. So 1 goes in each direction. And as we finish our sequence, legs return back to the center. Carefully release 1 leg down, release the other leg down. Hands return at the back of your head again. Elbows slightly higher to your peripheral vision. Right and left leg up, return to tabletop position. Hold it there. Let's repeat chest lifted position. So just bra height level. Watch your lower back. You don't want to flatten it too much. We're gonna add a rotation. So we're gonna pivot around the breastbone in diagonal movement. So think left shoulder reaches towards your right hip. Come back to the center. Right shoulder towards your left hip. As you reach from side to side, try not to drop your height in the center. We maintain the lift first, and we're adding a little bit of rotation on each side. You should start feeling your external obliques burning. We've got 4 more of those. Fundamental warm-up always gets those deep muscles. Lovely. Let's go for 1 more on each side. Almost there. Make sure you're even on both sides. Back to the center. Release one leg first. Release the other leg. And then reach back down. Give yourself a quick hug. Place your hands on the top of your knees and then circulate your lower back against the surface in one direction, then reverse it. We're gonna get into the glutes a little bit more. So gonna release one leg, then the other. Now, I would like you to start working with your weaker side in the body. So allocate the weaker side, whether it's your right or your left. I'm gonna talk to my left side. That's my weaker side. Now, bring your stronger leg to tabletop position. Take your arms down by your sides. Press the heel of your weaker foot into the ground and lift your bottom up. At the top of your range, round your lower back a little bit more, trying to feel your glutes. And then hinge yourself back down. So this time we don't want to roll, we want to lift. So it's like a thrust up and we come back down. And again, bottom lifts up, squeeze your glutes at the top of the ground. Lovely. And then back down. Let's do a couple more of those. Just a bit of a glute activation on the weaker side. So if we press the heel into the ground more, you should feel the glute responding at the top of your range. Let's do this one more time. Lift up and hold it. Now, can we elongate the floating leg all the way up to the ceiling, pointing our toes? Start lowering leg down towards the gravity, but be careful. Try not to change the shape of your pelvis. And then flex your foot, pull the leg back towards your nose. Point your toes, lower the leg down. Flex your foot, pull the leg back towards you. And again, with control, when the leg lowers, make sure that the hip is not dropping towards the ground. We've got 3 more left. And flex to return. Give me 2 more of those. And flex to return. One last. Lower the leg. Flex your foot and return. Bend your floating leg. And then lower the leg down. Don't drop your bottom. Try to level your heels first. Now you're gonna transfer your body weight to your stronger side, lifting your weaker leg to tabletop position. We're gonna repeat the whole sequence. So bottom goes down. Dig your heel and lift your bottom up. And at the top of your range, round your lower back just slightly for glute and hamstring connection. Off we go. Bottom drops down. And we press and we lift and we squeeze and hold. Lovely. And then feeling the difference between weaker, stronger side. It's just amazing sometimes to feel the connection. I tend to work with weaker side a lot. As we age, we tend to favor the stronger side. Anyway, more so it's very important we keep working with the weaker part, weaker side of our body. We've got 2 more of those lifts, my ladies, almost there. And then down. Last one, press up and hold it. Elongate the leg up to the ceiling, point your toes. Lower the leg down towards the gravity, flex your foot and return. 5 more. Lower with toes pointed, flex and return. Let's go for 4 more. And flex to return. Lovely. And let's go for 3. And then lift. 2 more. And lift. Last one. And lift. Bend your knee. Place your foot down. Don't drop your bottom just yet. I would like you to walk your legs together, squeezing your inner thighs together. Awesome. Round your lower back a little bit more. We're gonna finish off those glutes. Calf raises. Lift your heels off the floor, then press them down. And lift your heels and press them down. So not lean legs together. Squeeze your inner thighs together like one limb. Yes, and lift and drop. Let's go for 4 more. Keep rounding through the lower back and down. And 3 and down. 2 more and down. And last one. And lower your heels down. And with control, roll the spine down vertebra by vertebra. Good. Place your right thigh on the top of your left thigh and then pull them both towards your chest. Just a quick release, quick stretch for the glutes. Not for too long. I want them active. And then swap your legs. One thigh on the top of the other. Quick release here. Well done. Awesome. Let's get into the hips a little bit more. I'd like you to elongate your left leg on the mat, grabbing the back side of your right thigh, starting with a hamstring stretch. Elongate the right leg up to the ceiling, flex your foot. Think of pushing your thigh into your hand and then pulling your hand against your thigh. Work with your ankle, point and flex, point and flex. You'll feel the back of your leg working. We want to stretch the hamstring, but it's also a bit of a strength training for a functional length. Lovely. Now, keep your foot flexed. If you find the straight-legged position challenging, you can keep micro bend in your knee. Now, take your arms outside the frame of your body with palms facing down. We're gonna go for a single leg circle. So I'd like you to take the leg towards the midline of your body. Lower the leg down towards the floor. Take it outside the frame of your body and bring it back to the center. Work with smaller range to begin with, because you want to keep the left hip grounded, so we are isolating the movement. Keep the leg connected to the floor, very active. That's it. You are using your core, your obliques on the left-hand side to keep your trunk really stable. Let's go for 2 more of those. And the last one, as the leg comes all the way up, let's reverse direction. Take the leg up, down, around, and up. And if you're a bit more confident, you can work slightly faster pace. Inhale, drop the leg and catch it. Exhale, drop the leg and catch it. Alternating breath, or work with the breath that makes sense to your body. As long as you breathe, I'm okay. And again, exhale and lift, and inhale and lift. We're gonna make this one our last as the leg arrives at the top. Hold it. Once again, grab the back side of your thigh. Elongate the back of your neck. Bring your chin down towards the chest. Lift your head off the floor and then climb the tree using your legs. So we're coming all the way up, grabbing as high as you can without straining yourself. So only as far as you can reach. And then slowly climbing all the way down, a bit of a hamstring stretch. Now place your hands on the top of your knee and then hug your knee towards your chest. Lovely. Sarah, you okay? Thumbs up? All good? Perfect. And we're gonna swap sides. So straighten your right leg for me. And then bringing your left leg all the way up. Let's do a little bit of a functional stretch first. Hands at the back of your thigh. Reach the leg up to the ceiling. Work through your ankle. Flex to point, releasing any tightness that hamstring might be holding. You might feel the difference between legs again. Lovely. Keep your foot flexed. So as if you were pressing your heel up to the ceiling. Arms are going outside the frame of your body. We've got circles. So take the leg across towards the midline, take the leg down, around, and up. Very important, stability first before we move. So as the leg moves, watch what the opposite side of your body is doing. So use your body actively against the surface. Press your arms, press your leg, press your hips to the floor. Let's go for one more in this direction. Pause it for a split second and then reverse. Take it away from the midline, down, around, and up. And it's okay to keep micro bend in the knee if you feel that straight leg is a bit too much. Lovely. Our limbs are very heavy, so they do need core support, and we're trying to connect as mindfully as we can. We're gonna make this one our last. And again, as the leg arrives at the top, grab the back side of your thigh. Bring your chin down towards the chest and imagine climbing up the tree. So we are lifting chest, neck as high as we can reach. Just staying here for a moment for a little bit of hamstring stretch. And then slowly climbing all the way down, bend your knee. And then as you place your hands on the top, hug your knee to your chest. You should feel a nice hip stretch on opposite side. We're gonna go into our core a little bit deeper. So we're gonna start by bending both legs at the same time, hands on the top of your knees. Now, use your biceps, so really make your arms active. Lift your head, your chest, and your neck off the floor. Starting with double leg stretch. If I'll give you cues if this is a little bit too much for your neck, but so far you look so good, so we stop. Elongate your legs and send your arms over your head. Circulate your arms, creating space around you. Bend your knees, hug your knees to the chest. Lovely. Try to keep your height as you reach your arms over your head. Then circulate them around you, hug your knees. If your neck doesn't like it, use one hand behind your head and then work through one arm only. We've got only 2 more left. Open your arms and legs, arms circulate, and then we hug them. One last, arms go overhead, and then bend your knees. Take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Elongate your right leg out, keep your left knee bent. Rotate your trunk towards your left knee. We've got crisscross. As we exhale, rotate your spine towards your floating knee. Always think shoulder to opposite hip. That's it. Keep going like that. Nice and dynamic. See if you can come up just a fraction higher. We've got 6 of those. And then 5. 4 more. Crossing across the midline of your body. 4, 3, 2. And then the last one. Come back to the center, hands on the top. Hug your knees to the chest. Circulate your back against the mat. And then as you place your feet down on the ground, you're gonna fold your knees towards the screen so you can create an easy transition to sideline position. You're gonna need your towel underneath your head. So stretch your bottom arm directly underneath your head and then place the towel between your head and your shoulder. Now, you want to bring your legs tiny bit forward. So if you look at your toes, they should be leveled. If they are not, it means that you need to push your top hip slightly more forward. Place your hand in front of you. We've got side lifts. When you're ready, press your waistline down, lift both legs off the ground, and then release it. And again, push your waistline down to float both legs up. And then down. So it's like a seesaw motion. See if you can round your lower back just slightly. So just to bring your hips tiny bit further forward creating a little bit more lower abdominal connection. We've got 3 more of those. And then down. 2 more. And down. And the last one, we lift and hold it, long legs. Imagine I'm pulling your ankles. Round your lower back a little bit more. Try to use your glutes for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your bottom leg only. See if you can lengthen out of your hip, your floating leg. We've got leg changes here. So bring the leg forward, tap the mat in front of you, lift the leg up and tap the mat behind you. So it's like drawing a rainbow shape, reaching the leg long out of the hip. Trying to maintain the hip absolutely still so the whole movement comes from your hip joint. Good. See if you can relax your shoulders a little bit. So keeping shoulders away from ear. That's it. Let's go for 1 more on each side. Now join your legs together. Press them against each other and float them 1 more time. Give me a small Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. Imagine going for a walk, creating a step, 1 leg forward, 1 leg back. Exchange your legs through the center, reach in opposite direction. And again, meet them in the center, exchange like creating a step. Concentrate on the leg that goes behind. Make sure the leg becomes longer and longer each time you move it. We want to avoid bending the knee. Let's go for 4. And let's go for 3. We've got 2 more. And we've got 1 last. Back to the center. Drop your bottom leg. Keep your top leg floating. I know, I feel the burn too. We've got circles forward. Take the leg forward. Take the leg up. Take the leg to the hip height level. And then bring the leg forward. You can work with smaller range. If big circle feels too much, make your bottom leg active. Push it towards the ground. Again, stability first before we move. Lovely. Let's go for 1 more in this direction. And then we're going to reverse it, going in opposite direction, up, forward, and then take it back. Don't let the leg drop heavy. See if you can slow down the movement enough to control the lowering phase with your abdominals. Ladies, we've got 2 more of those, nearly there. And we've got 1 more like this. Lovely. Now, bend your top knee. With your hand, reach for your ankle and then pull your heel towards your bottom, rounding your lower back, pushing your hips forward. You want to stretch the front of your thigh. And then carefully let go of the grip, hand in front of you so you can push off the surface, coming into a Z-sit position. We've got mermaid coming. Z-sit, 1 shin align with the front edge of the mat, 1 goes to the side. Now, if you feel very imbalanced in your hips, I tend to place a towel under the hip that feels like it's sitting much lower. And then our body will feel a little bit more stable this way. Arms out. Try to reach your arms out outside your shoulders and then reach out of your hip. Land your hand down on the mat and then reach up and over with your opposite arm. You can bend your elbows, so the bigger the stretch, the better. And then push away from the ground, level your shoulders, reach out again, go to the other side. We will try to flow a little bit faster. So again, that reaching out a little bit like a triangle in yoga. That's it. We want to create the elongation through the side of the body, lateral stretch. And we go to the other side, doing the same thing, trying to maintain the connection through the pelvis to the ground. And we're gonna make this on our last reach out, land with your hand, go as low as it feels good, And then return, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then come back to the center. We're gonna swap our legs, repeating the whole sequence on the other side. Setting is everything in Pilates. So we need to make sure that every body part we use contributes to our stability. So shoulder stays away from your ear. That's it. Your legs are going slightly more forward, like 10, 20 degrees forward. So you can round your lower back just slightly. Little gap in your waistline, hand in front of you. Now, as you push your waistline to the ground, lift your legs up and then down. Think of the seesaw motion through the side of the pelvis. Good. Legs together. So Sarah, think of pushing the bottom leg against your top leg. So the bottom leg, yes, lifts the top one. Keep them connected. The bottom leg pushes up. That's it. I know it's hard, but we've got only 3 more left. Lift, lift, lift. And then down. We've got 2 more. And down. And the last one, lift and hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then lower the leg, bottom leg down. Keep your top leg floating. See if you can rotate your top leg slightly out, just to feel a little bit of an extra turn through the hip. And we've got our leg changes. So tap the mat in front of you, and then up and over, mat behind you. And then I can make it a little bit more dynamic. Now, think of the bottom leg being super active. Although the leg doesn't move, it needs to do some work for us. It needs to keep our body stable. So the more you push it towards the ground, the more able you will be to move the top leg. Lovely. Let's go for 2 more. And then behind. And then 1 more. And then behind. And then join your legs in the center. Push your waistline so you can float both legs. Give me a turn out. Small V position. We're going for a walk. Scissors. 1 leg goes forward, 1 leg goes back. Exchange in the center. Brushing through your inner thighs, one against the other. So our inner thighs are basically extension of our pelvic floor muscles. We need to train them for continence, for everything pelvic floor related. Lovely. Let's go for 4. And center. And 3. And center. Give me 2 more. And center. And then the last one. And center. Dropping your bottom leg only. We've got hip circles forward. So kick your leg forward. Take the leg up. Leg goes down. And forward. And see if we can create a nice and smooth range. And again, trying to use the bottom leg for stability. You will improve your mobility once you learn how to stabilize your body first. Give me 1 more in this direction. And we're going to reverse it. Take it back and take it up. And then in front of you, I know, and back. And big hip movement, circumduction. It's the biggest range our body can create. Only shoulders and hips can do it in our body. Such a big range. 2 more. Almost there. 1 last. I know. And then bend the top knee, grab your ankle, and then pull your heel towards your bottom while pushing your hips forward, stretching your quads. Bit of a breather. And then slowly release your top leg, don't let the leg bounce. And then push off the floor. We're back to our Z sit. We're gonna combine 2 movements. So again, I'm gonna lift my hip just to keep myself a bit more balanced. So a bit of a reformer on the mat. We're gonna add 1 movement we do on the reformer. Arms out. You want to reach out of your waistline and land on your hand. Once you do it, add a pivot as well. So you want to rotate your spine. Lovely. And then come back to your T position here. And then do the same thing on the other side. So just a lift the same way we did it last time. So that extra rotation as we come to the T position, we reach out, we land the hand, and then we're adding a pivot. So 3D movement to your rib cage. Lovely. And then pushing off and up. And just like one more thing, one more movement on this side with rotation. And then all the way back. Ladies, we're nearly heading to an end, but we still have a few movements to do. Align your knees together. Easy transition, 4-point kneeling. Perfect. Now, in 4-point kneeling, you want to stay with your knees directly underneath your hips, with your palms directly underneath your shoulders, unless there is too much strain on your wrists. If so, move your hands tiny bit further forward, or you can always use the towel and just soften the surface for yourself. Starting with a little bit of a cat to cow stretch. Tilting your pelvis, think of curling your pubic bone to nose a little bit like our warm-up. And you'll feel your spine rippling into a nice big curve. And then push your hips back. And at the same time, slide your breastbone forward to reverse it. Lovely. And again, around through your lower back, creating a nice ripple effect through all the curves in the spine, neck relaxed. And then reverse it. Slide your sit bones back, while sliding breastbone forward. Lovely, my ladies. One more like that. Rounding through the lower back, creating a deep scoop here. And then we're going in reverse. Now let's bring our spine to neutral position. So we want to find a little bit of a lift through the breastbone, and we want to keep sending those hips behind. Send one leg behind you and tuck your toes under. Round your lower back a little bit more so you can come into a full plank position here. The more you round your lower back, the more you use your glutes for support. Sarah, lift your head slightly, look at the top of your mat for your neutral neck. That's it. Slide your right shin on the mat, pulling your knee under your belly button. Push the leg away from you, alternating between each leg. One leg at a time. Keep your shin close to the mat, almost like you want to drag it against the floor. That's the one. Rounding through the lower back. Awesome. Let's go for 4 more. Nearly there. And back. And 3. 2 more. And the last one. And then release one knee. Release the other knee. Let's start with decompressing your wrists. So flip your palms upside down and then gently push into the floor. I know, a lot of weight bearing on the wrists. We need to do it, but we also need to decompress them. Beautiful. Okay, moving on to your forearms. So elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Coming into your prone position, so lying on your belly. Now, if you feel there's too much strain in your lower back, you are welcome to walk your hands a little bit further forward, just to ease off the angle. Good. Think of pushing your pubic bone a little bit more in towards the mat, so rounding through the lower back. And then bend your right knee, creating flexion through your glutes and hamstrings. Squeeze your bum. Lovely. And then straighten the leg. So look at my breastbone. It's almost like I'm trying to look forward and up. Lovely. We are alternating our legs without moving the pelvis. So the more I lift my belly button up towards the breastbone, the more control I've got of this movement. We're gonna speed up the pace a little. We're gonna use the following breath. Bend your knee, little kick. Exhale, exhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, exhale, straighten the leg. Kick, kick. That's it. Hamstring curl, glute flexion. Exhale, exhale. Exhale, exhale. Let's do this one more time on each side. Kick, kick, and kick, kick. Now, bend both of your knees, join your heels together. See if you can lift your thighs off the floor. They will lift just tiny. Imaginary squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And straight away push back to child's pose stretch. Knees wider, join your heels together. Drape your bottom over your heels. Stretch your lower back. One more movement left. We're nearly there. Make sure you've got your towel handy. We're gonna lie prone on our bellies. All we need is our towel on the forehead. So you can relax your head on the towel. Legs together, you want to create one limb. Taking your arms down by your sides, squeezing them towards your thighs. Now, start lifting your gaze. Slide your gaze to the top of the mat. Round your lower back, pressing your pubic bone towards the mat so you can use your glutes to protect the lower back. Hold it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your upper body, turn your head. Just roll your hips from side to side, decompressing back. We've got 2 more variations of this exercise we need. Come back to the center. This time, interlace your fingers behind your back and straighten your arms. Lift your gaze first. Slide your gaze to the top of your mat. Lift up, pulling your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your glutes. Anchor your thighs towards the floor. Don't let them lift. Work your bottom for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, release. Turn your head in opposite direction and then gently roll your hips against the floor. One more movement, almost there. Head in the center. Once again, interlace your fingers behind your head. We're going for a full locust. We're gonna lift the breastbone up, shoulders down and back. If it feels all right, float your legs off the floor and reach. Make your legs longer than your arms and your arms longer than your legs. We hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Take your palms, place them by your shoulders, and once again, push back to your child's pose stretch. And then when you're ready, walk back to your forward kneeling position. Palms aligned with your shoulders, knees with your hips. Transition to standing, tuck your toes under. Round your lower back to create a scoop. Push away from the floor to hover your knees. Then lift your sit bones up and transfer your body weight towards your heels. So we are in your up stretch on your downward dog stretch. And then slowly walk your hands towards your feet. We're ending in the bottom range of your roll down. You can fold your arms and then gently sway your body from side to side. And then relax your arms. Draw your abdominals in and slowly take your body in reverse. Bone by bone. Restacking your spine with your head coming up last. And we're all done for today. Thank you very much, my ladies.